Hello everyone and welcome back to my review channel, and today I'm doing the next movie of the horror classics review. And today I forgot to do it during the last film. I don't want to forget to do it at the end of this film, do a little grab bag, but I was able to do the grab bag after I finished the last film, and this is what it was. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, silent film, 1920. Wow. This is good. Now, this is a classic. You want to talk about a classic? This is a classic. As we all know, there's been multiple movies based on this book, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is the 1920 film, silent. While looking it up, it was said that that there was another film. I couldn't find it supposedly around the same time. Like two Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hydes. I couldn't find it. Not to say that it didn't happen, but if it did, this movie was probably the more low budget one. But this could be the only silent Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde film that there is. Like I said, when I was looking it up, it said there was like two of them around the same time, but I couldn't find the other one. Anyways, this is the movie that stars John Barrymore. Now, I looked up him because, you know, John Barrymore could be related to Drew Barrymore. I was looking it up, and no relation. Basically, Barrymore is a pen name. It's not even his real name. His real name isn't even, his last name isn't like that. So, a lot of actors do this. Apparently, they've been doing it for a long time. So, it's really funny. While looking him up, he had a brother named, he had a brother named John Drew Barrymore. So he had a brother named Drew Barrymore. So I'm guessing the lady actress, if you want to call her that, Drew Barrymore is probably just a pen name of her real name. Pretty cool, though. I just thought I'd throw that out there because it's pretty cool. Let me see. Based on a novel by Robert Louise Stevenson, International Movie Database gave this a 7.0. And Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 91% rating, with the audience giving it a 61% rating. Likeable rating. The only other thing I want to say that during this whole movie, since it is a silent film, you would just hear orchestra music during the whole thing. I'm talking about flutes and strings. That's like pretty much all you hear. It was pretty cool. I mean, if you like orchestra music and stuff, or like, symphony music or something, whatever. I think it was just orchestra. Yeah, that was, since, like I said, no actual sound, you're not going to hear anybody's voice during this, it's just played music. This is the first time, I want to mention this, first time I've actually ever watched a black and white silent film. This is the first. For a long time, I've been against black and white films. There was just like too many new films. When I was younger, there's too many new better films. But now that I'm doing this, I actually can watch all these silent films that made, or all these black and white films that made films that we know today. Just like this, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It was just like, this is influential. So let's get into it. I wrote so many notes. Apparently, there's just like, this movie is 83 minutes long, but there might be some place you find it to be 67 minutes. That's not true. I'm guessing that the only reason they said it was 67 minutes because they took out all the footnotes in between. It's like when someone talks, they put up a footnote saying what he says, or they put up a footnote saying what's going on. If you take out all the footnotes during the film, yeah, it probably is like 67 minutes long. Just film-wise. Just what they shot. So, probably. But this movie's 83 minutes long. Okay. Dr. Jekyll starts off, he's in his laboratory with another doctor, Dr. Lannon. Dr. Jekyll shows Dr. Lannon his experiments, what's going on. Dr. Lannon discusses how he disapproves of what he's doing, and tells Dr. Jekyll to work on more positive experiments, more positive outlook of experiments. Jekyll heads to his clinic after this, which is, I don't know, I guess this is just what they would call doctors' clinics back in the day, but he called it the human repair shop. This is what the footnote said. It said, goes to the clinic, his clinic's called the human repair shop. Not that he's called it, not that it was like named that, but that's what they called it back in the day. A human repair shop. That just sounds so funny to me. Like we're in the future, and there's robots everywhere, and very few humans, so robots have to take their human pets to the human repair shop. That's just what it sounds like to me, but it was true. It was a footnote. That's what it said. Human repair shop. So he heads to the clinic, human repair shop, which makes him late to a gala / ball / dinner with at Sir George Carews' house. This is just like a noble. I guess you could just say he's a noble. Just, high echelon of the society. From like kings, queens, duchess, whatever. I've never read the book, so I should have said that, or I've never read the book, so I don't know if it really goes along with this, but they know Dr. Jekyll since he's been they've known him, he's really good at what he does. He was invited to the ball, or whatever, this dinner, which Sir Carews' daughter is actually in love with Dr. Jekyll, and Dr. Jekyll is in love with Sir Carews' daughter, Millicent. So they're in love. So that's why Dr. Jekyll gets invited to the dinner. But he's late because he has to go to his clinic to help with other illnesses from other people. So he finally gets there. Jekyll enters and sits with the other men at the dinner table. This is pretty much after dinner. It's just pretty much they're eating like tea and crumpets, you would assume. All the women leave and they go do their own thing. These timepiece movies are hilarious when it comes to men and women. How they treat men and women, like back in the 20s, is hilarious. I mean, not really, but nowadays you can look back and go, oh my god, this is how it was. It's just like after dinner, all the men sit together and none of the women are allowed in. It's like, get the hell out of here, vagina. But, the men all sit together, sip on their teas, eat their crumpets. They switch. They have a little conversation. Dr. Jekyll doesn't like it. But they switch to go to a London music hall. So they go to a London music hall. Just the guys. Just a few guys. So Dr. Jekyll, Sir Carew, and Dr. Lennon. So just those three guys. Maybe another dude, but I think it's just those three or four. And they're at the music hall. Dr. Jekyll sees or gets entangled or notices the singer on stage, an Italian singer called Gina. Kind of is infatuated with her, but he doesn't want to do anything because he's trying to be a nice doctor. He's he already has a love interest. But Sir Carew tries to. I don't know why he tries to do this, but he tries to get the Gina, the singer, Italian singer, to seduce Dr. Jekyll. With a kiss. Not with sex or anything, but just with a kiss. And I don't know why, but it just does this. But it goes along with the story because he doesn't like it, but he wants, later on, after this, he wants to try to separate those two aspects of the human being, good and bad. So that's where this comes from. I will want to say that when they go to this bar, when they go to this, music hall, London music hall, everybody, I love this, because everybody, all the males, every guy, looks like Jack the Ripper. It is hilarious. Everybody has the black trench coat, the big black top hat. Everybody looks like Jack the Ripper. If you're trying to find Jack the Ripper, no wonder no one could find him. Everybody looked like Jack the Ripper. And this is a timepiece, so it's late 1800s. That's just hilarious to me. I just kept reminded, pick out Jack the Ripper. Oh, it's just all these dudes are Jack the Ripper. No wonder they could never find him. Everybody looks like him. Anyways, I just thought that was funny. Everybody looks like Jack the Ripper. So, after he after Dr. Jekyll gets gets seduced by this girl, he leaves abruptly because he doesn't like it. So he leaves. Jekyll and Lennon head back to Jekyll's home. Well, Jekyll proceeds to scare Lennon with his theory of splitting man into two different people. Basically the consciousness of man, like the good and the evil. Lennon leaves after this, and Jekyll dwells over the idea. He's dwelling on it. It's like, yeah, I could do this. Days and nights pass while Jekyll perfects this serum. He drinks it, and there's only, like, he does this kind of thing. He's like, and there's only, like, a slight change of what happens to him. He gives himself, like, a hunchback. His, like, hands are like this. And, like, they pretty much, like, they give his hands more makeup than his face. And so he almost still, like, they give him, like, a weird, like, elongated back of his head. It's, like, just like stringy hair. Nothing really stood out as makeup-wise except for his hands. There's just like long fingernails and stuff. But he did look kind of more creepy, definitely. So, he drinks the serum again to change back to normal, back to Dr. Jekyll. So, after this, I guess he drinks it again without showing it. Because here walks Hyde, even though he already drank it to go back to normal as Jekyll. Next scene, there's Hyde walking out. So I guess he drank it again. Hyde goes out into town to do things that Jekyll never would. Basically, have adultery, have another wife, basically. Goes to the music hall to talk/seduce the Italian singer, Gina. He gets an apartment. Hyde does, as the different other personality. Hyde gets an apartment, buys his own apartment, just to have another wife, just to have this girl Gina as his other wife. Yeah, again, just that's whatever. That's what he's doing. Back as Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll, he sets up a will, a will and testament. Giving everything to Mr. Hyde. And one man mentions his love, Millicent Carew. One man mentions Dr. Jekyll's love interest, Millicent Carew. Hyde throws Gina out. This didn't take long. Saying that he's through with her. He's like, there was only like a week or two that passed. And he was just like, yeah, I'm done with you. The way they treat women, it's just like, they treated her like she was a prostitute more than a singer, like a legit singer. It's like, okay, they get her come over here, just like seduce this guy. Again, just like how just the men and women aspect in these late times. Whatever. I guess it's really sad if it's that true, and I know it's true. Jekyll meets with his love and goes well, not turning himself into Hyde. This lasts for some time until Hyde jumps forth one night, malignant as ever. Basically, Jekyll was trying to keep the Hyde personality back. He didn't like what Hyde was doing, basically having adultery, having another girlfriend, being evil, just doing evil things. He just didn't like it. That's not what Dr. Jekyll is. He's a good guy. So he tries just to stay away. Apparently he doesn't need the serum anymore to change into Mr. Hyde. It doesn't explain that at all. But apparently he doesn't need it. So one night Hyde just comes forth. As Hyde, he goes into a bar and finds a girl and seduces her. And this girl looks like Millicent or Gina. All these girls, I mean, if they're short or black hair with like the same hairdo, they all look the same. So you don't know if it's just a random girl or if it's just like Gina or Millicent again. But I'm just going to say it's a regular girl. Just a random girl. He picks up a random girl and tries to seduce her as Hyde. Very creepy ass Hyde. At Sir George Carew's home, Millicent worries over Dr. Jekyll, for she hasn't seen him in a while, probably about 2 weeks. Sir George goes to Jekyll's home to get some answers. He gets no answers from Jekyll's servant, only that he hasn't been seen in a week. He just hasn't been seen in a week. Yeah, Dr. Jekyll has servants. He's that, or like whatever. He's that known and that well to do. Like he's in money. He's in enough money where he can have servants, not just one, but multiple ones to cook food or whatever, clean the house. Let me see. After this, it shows Hyde, and he seems to attack a young boy out on the streets playing. People see this and run to kid's aid. I don't know what the hell this was about, but as a Hyde just like jumps this kid for no reason. He just like jumps. He's like, ah! And just like jumps this kid. It doesn't really explain why. It just does it. He just does to do it. He just like attacks this kid. And attacking is just, I'm saying that loosely because you don't really know what he was doing or why. You don't know why or how or what. He just for whatever reason he does it. These two kids were playing, he jumps one. And it was the younger kid of the two. And they were both pretty young. He is able to pay his way out of this. I don't know if he broke something, or if this was just like the sign of the times, where you could just like pay your way. You could hurt it. You could like, do whatever you want to a kid, as you could say, and you could just pay your way out with all these witnesses. Everyone sees him do it, but he's able just to pay his way out. When he does, he grabs a check from his home, Hyde, writes a check, but they notice, one of Dr. Jekyll's friends is out there, and he notices that Hyde is using a check with the signature of Dr. Jekyll. And he's like, hey, that's Dr. Jekyll's signature. You're not Jekyll. But they go and like they try to cash it anyway. Later on, Jekyll comes to realize that the evil that he has wrought. So he's starting to really, really not like what Hyde's doing. Sir George Carew, comes over to Jekyll's to talk about Hyde and why he's around. Why is Hyde around? Basically, everyone in town is starting to not like Hyde, and they want to know why such a nice guy like Dr. Jekyll is even hanging around this evil, evil guy named Mr. Hyde. Sir Carew, terrified, tries to, leave, but gets attacked by Hyde, killing Sir Carew. Basically, Dr. Jekyll changes in front of Sir Carew without drinking the potion, without actually drinking the serum. He just changes in front of Sir Carew, terrifies him, and when he tries to leave, he gets attacked by Mr. Hyde, and Mr. Hyde pretty much kills him by, just constantly clubbing him. It doesn't show, anything graphic, it shows him constantly clubbing. So you know he kills him. Others inside of this, apartment building, you could say, hear a loud noise come outside, probably what you could assume to be screaming. And they find Sir Carew's body. They find his jacket inside Jekyll's home and go get the police. They find Sir Carew's jacket inside of Jekyll's home. So I guess Hyde went to Jekyll's house instead to get the check. That's probably where he was in this whole area. Since he got an apartment as Hyde and across town. So they find. No. I'm sorry. He was at Jekyll's house anyway. So Jekyll was just normal. My bad. Yeah. So that's why Hyde went into Jekyll's house, because he was just Jekyll just a minute ago. Anyway, Hyde now is running. Hyde is running. Mr. Hyde is running. Dr. Lanning goes to tell Millicent the news of her father, and police run to find Hyde. Dr. Lanning brings Millicent over to pretty much identify the body, as you can assume. And so everyone's there. The police, Dr. Lanning, Millicent, they're all outside of Jekyll's home, hovering over Sir Carew's body. Dr. Lanning comes back with Millicent to her deceased father, laying on the ground. She weeps. Hyde comes back to Jekyll's home through the back entrance that he locked before. Police go looking for Jekyll at his home to find out more about Hyde. So now the police are coming back to where Hyde's at. Hyde takes potion and turns back into Jekyll. Dr. Jekyll. Dr. Jekyll comes outside with police to witness Sir Crew's body, and Millicent asks for Jekyll's help to find Hyde. And of course, Jekyll says yes. So now more time passes. One night, while Jekyll sleeps, Hyde comes out. A very cool, creepy part here, because it is showed Hyde in like dream form as a spider. So it was pretty cool. I thought that was really creepy. Millicent and Dr. Lennon worry about Jekyll since he's just been in bed for days. Jekyll locks himself away to control his Hyde personality. Like I said, he's just been in this room for days on end. Millicent and Dr. Lennon come to visit Dr. Jekyll because they worry about him. Millicent wants to see Jekyll, but Hyde is the one who lets her in the room because he like right before that, Dr. Jekyll was about to let her in, but in that moment he changes into Hyde, and then Hyde lets her in. So Hyde starts to it doesn't really explain what's going on. It's just like he tries to like grab onto her, tries to talk to her, grab onto her, and then all of a sudden he starts writhing in pain. Hyde does. He starts writhing in pain, and Millicent escapes this way to get help. Escapes through the door. Lennon runs into Jekyll's home to find Hyde slumped in a chair, changing back into Jekyll. So, as far as Millicent knows, Dr. Jekyll wasn't there. Hyde was there. And Hyde was the one that attacked her. Okay? So when she leaves, as far as she knows, there was no Jekyll, and it was just Hyde. So Dr. Lennon comes back in to see Hyde, slumped in a chair, then slowly changing back into Dr. Jekyll. It seemed that Dr. Jekyll, or Mr. Hyde, as Mr. Hyde, I guess, just when there was just enough persona in Mr. Hyde's, or just enough Dr. Jekyll persona while Mr. Hyde was out, he was able to get Mr. Hyde to drink poison. Pretty much drink some poison to kill himself. Dr. Lennon doesn't tell anyone about what he saw, about the change, and only that he only says that Hyde must have killed Dr. Jekyll. So in the end, he tried to save Dr. Jekyll from Mr. Hyde persona himself. It ends with Millicent walking in to see Dr. Jekyll, her love, and it ends with her sitting next to the lifeless body, just sobbing. She's just sobbing over her dead lover. And that's how that movie ends. Pretty good. It wasn't terrible. I mean, it wasn't great in any fashion. But for a classic movie, for what it wasn't bad. It was okay to watch. But that's how it was. The best parts was the creepy, Mr. Hyde dream part, where he's as a spider. That was closer to the end. And the part where they go in the music hall and everyone looks like Jack the Ripper. I thought that was pretty funny. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it was silent film, 1920. It was okay. But right now, let's take a look. What's my next one gonna be? Check. And pull one out. Just one. What's it gonna be? What is this? Oh, really? Another classic. I hope I don't go through all these classics too quick. But you have to wait next week. This one's going to be pretty good. This one might even be better than this one. This has been made into another movie starring, I can't even remember his name, but it was It was a musical. I can't remember the actor's name in it, and I wish I could. But then again, I'd just be giving too much away. Anyways, another classic. I can't wait for next week. But there you go. I spent way too long on this. I'm sorry. I try to make them quick, and it seems like I can't do it. I will at some point. But thank you. Thank you for all your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And everybody out there, have a great day and a wonderful evening.